and welcome to Sasha and Goff Live Recorded.
I'm Sasha.
And I'm Goff, and this week we are talking about our top 3 MILFs, or if you're being grammatically correct, possibly Milves.
Yeah, I don't think it's even grammatically correct, but it is a funny way to say.
Yeah. It's
MILFs.
like wolf or wolves.
Multiple, because then it changes what it is. It's
Yeah.
like, Mom, I'd like to visually...
I was thinking of a different word with V, but it's so much worse than what the F is in MILF.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got to ask you, did you do like TV moms or did you do your friends' moms?
Yeah, I was going to say
that
your mom, just to make things super uncomfortable. But then I decided, like, I'm going to do TV and movie, but also real life celebrity.
Okay.
Because I didn't know. You never know. It's like, does this person... I had to Google if people had kids, like, in real life. And then I think all of mine ended up actually being TV or movie.
Mine definitely are.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't want this to get, like... So if we're talking about
I already
messed
up last week when I talked about your grandma. So I don't want to keep it going.
I don't think anyone made it that far after last week's episode. That was... How did we go an hour and 20 minutes last week?
Technology, man. It messed us up.
I guess so.
Google Meet is not what I thought. I was hoping, Meet, M-E-A-T. But yeah, and then we were trying to, like, set things up, and I had no clue how to do it. Like, I've done podcasts for years over Zoom.
You've been producing
Skype
these
or whatever.
things for
I was
since
clueless.
Before COVID.
I felt like my parents when they use their phone, like... like they look at their phone and then their hands up here because that's just like how old people use the phone. I was so lost.
When I couldn't hear you and it was like, I literally don't know what else I could be doing. So thank God it was on your end. But so I actually, I wanted to talk.
By the way, it feels so much better this way.
Oh God, it does.
Yeah.
So. It's nice to be back. Good to be back.
Nice that Megan let you in this week.
Yes. We're good again. So, I had a busy weekend actually. Yesterday, and I got some garage sailing in, got some yard work in. Also, this fantastic shirt you got me for Christmas. Thank you.
Is that what you were wearing while doing
No, actually, okay. You know what? Maybe I was,
you
to be honest.
Filthy animal. You come into my house after you do yard work and that?
I actually, earlier in the week, I was dropping Natalie off at ballet, and we picked one of her friends up, too. And the girl's dad, like, graduated with me, so we know each other, whatever. We talked a little bit. And when I picked her up, he was like in the yard pulling some like dandelions up, and it was, you could tell it was one of those, he just saw me pull up, so it's like, had to, and I made a joke about it. And then when he dropped Natalie off afterwards, I was out in the yard wearing this shirt, and it was just like, this wasn't yesterday, I didn't wear it 3 days in a row, but dumb story. Anyway.
No, solid, I like it.
So besides the yard work and the garage sailing, Natalie had her play, I guess. She's been in an acting class. She's done a few of them. They're musicals. They did Newsies. And I think I talked about it when we talked about our favorite Disney movies, how Natalie and I tried to watch Newsies, and it was like, we didn't really care about it. But so she wasn't super into doing this play, but she just really wanted a musical or whatever. But anyway, they performed yesterday, and it was awesome. They did a great job. She had a lot of speaking roles. Yeah, no, I have it. It was like a 10-minute video. We'll play it at the end of the podcast.
You ever do any plays or anything when you were a kid?
No.
I did one.
Did you?
It was in a Serbian church.
Okay.
In Serbian. And I only had like one line or two lines. Like, I was dressed as like an old Serbian. Not my dad or anything, but just like an old, like...
Do you remember your line?
No, I could barely remember it then because it was like Serbian, and I was like, I don't know, I don't even know what I'm saying. Like, I just remember like marching forward, and then I'd be like the Americans are coming, hide your daughters, or whatever it was, and then like you just like stepped back, and that was it. And then we have a cast photo, which if I find it, I'll post it right now on the YouTube. But yeah, that's the only thing that I kind of like regret not doing something with like theater in high school, but like I like the behind the scenes stuff, the sound guy or the guy who like pulls the curtains or like whatever, like a lighting.
During Peter Pan, the guy that gets to launch them by pulling the cord in the back.
That kind of like.
I saw a reel recently of a girl who literally
into like a bed or something.
It was rough, man.
Yeah, like how the meat is made in that stuff. Like otherwise, I don't really like pay attention to plays. I hate musicals. I can't stand them.
Yeah. Which we talked about the new Joker movie, and
that's why I didn't even watch
that
it.
was part of it.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I guess we've done like Christmas recitals, I'll say, and I remember speaking because you brought it up, talking about how you had like one line. Heather, I know you're not listening to this, but I got to throw you under the bus. We had one at our church many years ago, and it was like, the Christmas recital, so everyone came up and like would say like a little like verse or whatever, and then Heather walked up, and I don't know how I remember this. I was probably 6, but she was just like, I don't know mine. And then my mom, I think, ran up on stage and like kind of coached her through it. But anyway, back to the story.
That's very Heather, though.
Yeah, she's
Heather.
like, fuck it, man. I don't know mine. Just flicked a cigarette. But so yeah, the musical, and then
you're older than her, aren't you?
Yeah.
So she was like 6.
Yeah, flicking a cigarette.
Makes sense. Checks out.
So then after the musical, Joni tells me, "Hey, the girls are going to stay at my parents tonight. You know what that means? That means Brian's going to a concert."
Oh,
yes. Yeah.
Did you go to Oberweis before?
No, we did go on Friday though.
I drove by Friday at like 8 p.m. and I was like, I guarantee Goff is in there right now.
No, dude, we go at like 5 p.m. Like I said, I order it early and then it just sits in the fridge and then we'll eat it when we're ready. Speaking of which, Joni got a frostbite, which is like their blizzards,
Wow, I thought you meant
no,
ailment.
Not in this 70-degree weather, but they must have been out of the ice cream or whatever, because it was like a Reese's Pieces fondant, basically, which is like, the icing that goes on top of like the cakes. It was weird. I mean, because she was saying like her sinuses wore off, so she couldn't really taste it, but it's like, you can tell the texture is way off, though. I mean, it was like, I don't know, this is 2 weeks in a row they've screwed up our online order, so.
That's like Play-Doh, eating Play-Doh.
It was, I mean, all right, so not like a wedding cake fondant, but just think of like a Dairy Queen cake, like that ice cream kind of whipped cream mix that they have on top, so like a birthday cake. So yeah, kind of a fondant, but not as like gluey.
We got to get a Dairy Queen cake for this podcast.
Dairy Queen?
Isn't that what you just said?
Well, or Oberweis, I guess. Whoever makes the cakes. Doesn't matter. I went to a concert last night, man.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah, we were both supposed to go, and I'm the one who bailed.
Yeah,
that's shocking.
You know what? I wasn't surprised. Just because, like, I thought
then
maybe...
I didn't go?
Yeah, I thought maybe you were waiting to hear because, I mean, it's a longer drive for you. 13 minutes for me.
I was going to say, it's a 15-minute drive for both of us.
Is it for you, too?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not too bad, then. But yeah, saw Protest the Hero last night at the West Chicago Social Club. I've never been there before. Have you been there?
If I've been there, it was like 20 years ago when it was something else.
It was Pale Joey before it was a pizza place.
Wow.
Yeah. I think that was, or at least that was part of the building. But no, this club's only been here for, I don't know, maybe 5 years.
It's relatively new, but there used to be something in that general area.
Okay.
Like, literally, like, a building.
There was a bowling... like alley across the way, Bowling Green, or maybe not a bowling alley, it was like a sports complex, I think, type place. But anyway,
doesn't matter.
Yeah, so it took me 13 minutes to get there. Only 2 bands played. It was fantastic.
Oh, that's the best.
Yeah,
that's the best.
Because I saw it, I checked the website and it just said opening acts, and there was only 1. So I'm like, okay, that could have just been the, the touring poster. They only put the band that's going to be with them like the entire time.
Then you get 3 local bands that you have to sit through, and you're like, this is horrible. I don't want to support these local bands.
Exactly. So doors were at 8. Show started at 9 o'clock. I left my house at like 9:15. Got there at like 9:25, 9:27. Awesome. It was fantastic. So I got in, and the first band that was playing, they're called Outrun the Sunlight. Very good technical band, no singing though. They're like a jam band, but their songs are very long. And my only gripe with them is that it was just like, it sounded like one long song. I mean, like, because there wasn't, the tempo for their music was pretty much the same for everything, but like very technical and like very heavy, and just like, it looked like a bunch of hippies up on stage.
Was it kind of like a groove, like a
not
heavier?
Really. No. Well, yeah, because I know what you're talking about, but no, I mean, like, this would have just sounded like an old Victory band, like if they had a singer, but like maybe more technical. And then Protest the Hero, who I know you're not that familiar with, I was like, their first album when I got into them came out in 2005. So, I mean, that's a 20-year band, and I think they started in 2001. I had 3 of the original members, I believe, are still in the band, but... Dude, the lead singer, Rhodey, his voice is still amazing. These guys, they just wailed. The sound at this place is awesome.
Really?
I mean, like, I'm thinking max capacity is maybe 400 people, maybe 300.
That's where I did not go see Leftover Crack and where I did not go see Sponge the last two times that they were here.
Yeah, I was going to see Authority Zero there. And
yeah.
And now I regret that because, like I said, how quick it is. And
so it's a cool place. It's not nice.
Only problem, though, I guess it's good for me, though. I have $35 in my pocket still because I did not buy a T-shirt for $35.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and... You don't want to be sound like a cheap ass, but when you walk up and you ask and no one else is in line behind you and you're just like, oh, okay, cool. And you just kind of take a couple steps back.
Homer Simpson into the wall.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's the worst. No one sells the $20 T-shirt anymore. If they do that, it's from 6 tours ago and it's only available in extra small or whatever.
They should have talked to your friends at Bad Planning, man.
Planning, look. My guys, they're playing this upcoming Thursday at the same place we saw them.
Okay.
They're playing with Murphy's Law and Total Chaos. And
oh, wow.
Yeah. And,
Total Chaos is still a band. That's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah. And I'm considering going to that on a Thursday.
There's going to be a lot of leather and spikes at that one.
Then it's just me.
Yeah, you and Megan. Date night.
No, she's working or whatever. I don't allow her to go.
No, that's cool.
Oh, are you saying she wears leather and spikes?
Well, yeah, both of you guys actually.
No, I actually wear leather and spikes.
You wear the leather daddy collar.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
What else is going on? Let me tell you something. Protest the Hero, my dear friend Kowalski has been trying to get me into Protest the Hero for the past 25 years. I know you said they've been a band for 20.
2001, I think, is when they started.
50 years he's been trying to get me into this band. And I listen to the music, and it's almost too good, right? Everything is just perfect and awesome, and metal and whatever. Then the guy sings, and I'm not a fan of the voice, which stinks when you're not a fan of the voice. It's not a bad voice; it's an amazing voice.
Yeah,
but their music doesn't grab me, and I've tried over and over and over again. And I am a closed-minded person. Usually, you give me 3 songs for a band, I know whether I like you or not. And 3 songs is even pushing it. Yeah. It's 2.5, and I'm like, all right, next band I'm going to listen to. Protest the Hero, I owned one of their CDs at one point to try and get into it.
Okay.
I've listened to them so much over the years. Every 3 months, Kowalski texts me a Protest the Hero song that he's already sent me before. Yeah. And he's just like, here, this one's instrumental. Maybe you'll like he tries everything to get me into this band. And this week, leading up to the show, I was like, all right, let me get into this, so I at least recognize something that's going on. So I started listening, and I'm listening more and more. And the more I listened to it, and then I started watching their live shows on YouTube. That might be where I messed up. Okay. Because once I saw that, I was like, well, I don't need to go now. I see what the YouTube looks like. And I just couldn't get into the music. Now, I was also, when you told me about the show and it starts at 9 p.m., at first I was kind of like, that's pretty late to start leaving the house for a show. That had 0 influence on me that day. For me, it was just I've tried so hard to keep getting into this band, and especially this week, really leading up to it, and I just couldn't do it, and I just didn't feel like going. Yeah. Then you text me, and you're like, I'm going. I was totally shocked. So I still almost ended up going, and I was like, you know what? It's SNL. The last season finale for SNL was last night, and I just want to watch that and whatever. That ended up being the deciding factor. So if it wasn't for SNL,
fucking SNL,
I probably would have been there. But yeah, good time, good show.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. You know, the last time I saw them, I'm pretty sure it was at Warped Tour, probably 06, 07, early on, and they weren't very good because I remember them saying, I very oddly remember this. They were one of the very first bands to play. They were all hungover, and they said it was because they were in trouble. Kevin Lyman, they missed curfew or something on Warped Tour, so Kevin Lyman made them open the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean I've heard them on CD many times. I've watched them on YouTube a few times, but they were amazing. They sounded so good. Yeah, and they. Like I said, the drummer and the bass player were different from last time. Like I said, it's been many, many years since I've seen them. But, Rhodey, actually one other problem, the lead singer, he's kind of like a smartass. Not like a Mark from Guttermouth smartass, but he talks a lot.
Okay.
A lot. Where the rest of the band literally just sits back because it's okay, it's Rhodey's turn. And I mean, he's talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs and hockey because he always tries to engage with...
Oh, they're Canadian.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So I was surprised actually. They were way more tame than I thought they were going to be versus America.
Yeah,
yeah. But
like Propaganda,
yeah.
who we talked about, they're not even coming to America.
Yeah.
And but they're, I guess, more political than Protest the Hero.
Yeah, Protest the Hero. They've had statements, I think, but they don't.
Yeah.
Their music, at least, is more. Yeah. But
Okay.
yeah, just a lot of talking. That was the biggest problem. to the point when he's talking about hockey, and I mean, I'm literally to myself like, who fucking cares?
It's like people who listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
Like, what? You're gonna talk about the Knicks for half an hour? Yeah, I'm going to. So
Go
with
ahead,
it.
my friend.
All right. So you had a good time with
I had
the
a good
show.
time,
Everything was good. I'm proud of you for going, by the way.
Thank you.
As you get
Thank
older and stuff, I know it's difficult. We got some shows coming up on Tuesdays and Wednesdays coming.
You know, actually, the
gonna be
last thing I'll say is it just happened to be where I was standing right when the show opened up. It was like I was on the outside of the pit, so it was a lot of just arms up.
Yeah.
I mean, the funniest thing was I saw a dude walk in. This guy had to be like in his 50s. He had like one of those like rockabilly like button-up shirts on and everything. Spike looked like Guy Fieri. I could tell coming in he had been there for a while, had a bunch of drinks. Right when he walks in, his drink just gets knocked in the air, ice everywhere, and then 30 seconds later, he's on the ground looking for his wedding ring.
Wow.
So it's like in one swipe, his drink and his wedding ring got taken out. He found it right away. But
You said it holds like 300-400 people probably.
I mean, like, that might even be, like, overdoing it, but it was... I'd say like 300 max.
But like, was it close to being full at this point?
Probably about, I'd say like 2/3.
Okay.
Maybe 75%. But yeah, it was, I kept looking back because you always feel bad, especially, hey, they're in West Chicago. Like, what are they going to, what kind? And he had a couple comments about that. It's like, well, this definitely ain't Chicago, you know? But
That's
they
everyone who plays in West Chicago has that, because there used to be another venue on North Avenue. What was that place called?
Brower House?
No, North and 59. Doesn't matter.
Okay.
But anyway, bands.
Oh, the Oasis Cafe?
Yeah. And anytime bands would come there, they'd be like, we thought we booked Chicago, West Chicago. We didn't realize it was 30 miles west of Chicago or whatever. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the Knicks.
All right. First and foremost, I did find the receipt for the Shed Aquarium.
Oh!
We played Guess the Price last week.
I said
$290 or something. I said $250. It was $250.50. So $40 is the kids' ticket, by the way.
Wow,
which is insane. But anyway, I just thought it was funny. I wanted to talk about the Knicks because I'm a new Knicks fan.
Yes.
Not a new Knicks fan. I'm a Knicks fan.
And before you talk, we're just going to preface, I have no idea what's going on in the NBA Finals. So I don't know if you're about to be very happy or very
and
upset.
I'm not going to talk about what happened in the games and stuff like that.
Okay.
I'm just going to say this. The Knicks just beat the Boston Celtics in the second round.
Okay.
So
I said finals, I meant playoffs.
They're now in the Eastern Conference Finals, which they haven't been since 2000.
Damn.
Where they lost to the Indiana Pacers.
Okay.
They are playing the Indiana Pacers now, who is a very good team, and I really do think...
I'm just happy to see the Indiana Pacers. Aren't the Bucks still in it too, or
no? They lost in the first round. If they
or
were
Minnesota Timberwolves.
Minnesota's in.
That's it. Yeah, Indiana and Minnesota.
And Minnesota, by the way, traded with the Knicks this year.
Okay.
So the Knicks got Karl Anthony Towns, doesn't matter, and Minnesota got two players, Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo.
Okay.
There's a chance they play in the finals with like players that they had traded in the offseason. Now, it's unlikely because I think the Pacers are going to beat the Knicks, but still I'm cheering for the Knicks. Obviously, like, it's my childhood team. I just told you they haven't been to the Eastern Conference Finals since 2000. 25 years since they've been this far. Wow. Before that, I was a Patrick Ewing fan. They got close. They made it to the finals. They never ended up winning with those teams or whatever.
Crazy.
So on Friday night, they won. But the crazy thing about this, so the first two games were in Boston, and in both games they were down over 20 points, and in both games they came back and won.
Nice.
And in both games, when they were down 20 points, I was so angry that I left. I turned the game off. I took the trash out. I became like a Mr. Homekeeper, house warmer.
Busybody.
Yeah, I just did a bunch of stuff, and then I would go, like, half an hour later, I'd check the score, and they're down 4 with, like, 5 minutes left in the game. And then I turn it back on, and then Boston goes on a 7-0 run, and I turn it off, and I walk away. this last game. Okay, so they were up 3-1. Boston's best player got injured, tore his Achilles.
Oh, yeah, Tatum, right?
Yeah. And so that, to me, I still thought the Knicks were going to lose when they were up 2-0 in the series. Because Boston's just a great team. But they're hurt and whatever. So when they were up 3-1, Boston beat them the next game without Tatum.
Okay.
And they destroyed the Knicks.
Ooh.
This is without their best player. And I was like, if the Boston Celtics beat them in Game 6, it goes back to Boston for Game 7. Forget it. The Knicks are screwed. So I was about to watch the game on Friday night when the Knicks are playing, and I got called to work.
Ooh.
And so that's why I was by Oberweis at 8 p.m. or whatever. So the entire game, I was driving. I had no clue what was happening. Megan was watching at home.
Why don't you put it on the radio?
Because if I listened, they would have lost.
All right. Good point.
So I didn't pay attention. I turned it on. They're up 40 points in the fourth quarter. I was like, I am never watching a Knicks game again. Yeah. And so I basically wanted to ask you, do you have any of that stupid fandom? You do that?
Absolutely.
Rally cap? You believe in a rally cap?
Well, no, not that. I was just going to say my wife loves fantasy football because every Sunday I can't watch the games because I'm doing chores around the house. I'm doing dishes because I'll have the game on in the background or games or whatever in my laptop, with the scores. But yeah, whenever it's if I have guys going, if it's the Monday night game, I'm so excited because it's I get to watch them, but I don't actually do it. I'll watch maybe a third.
You do
of the
it because
game.
If you do watch them, they'll
because
stink?
I'm too nervous. Yeah, because or it's just I don't want to see
just
them fuck
nerve.
up. So yeah, it's mostly nerves. So a game that I'm super excited to watch, I'll watch about a third of it.
I can't believe how angry I still get watching a team that I like lose.
Yeah.
I stopped watching most sports over the past 10 years, right? I've just I don't need this in my life anymore, or whatever. And then NBA I started watching again, and then lately the past year or 2 years or whatever, way more soccer than I've ever watched. And in soccer I don't have a team I cheer for. And then I was thinking, I'm in every other sport I'm not really into it, because I don't really cheer for too many teams. I cheer for the Bulls, I cheer for the Knicks. I know that goes against each other, but I was a Knicks fan first, and then Jordan quit, so then I was like, all right, I want to be a Bulls fan. And then I cheer for the Bears. I don't really cheer for a baseball team.
Yeah.
I mean, I cheered for the Sox when they were in the thing, but mostly because my friends are mostly Sox fans. I don't really care.
It was a good party.
Yeah.
It lasted about a month.
Bears, for some reason, I'm not a big football fan, but for the Bears, I feel
I think,
happy.
Yeah, we're a Bears town. You got it.
Yeah,
Bears,
yeah. And hockey, I find it. Yeah. Look, I think hockey is a great game. It's super fast and exciting and blah, blah, blah. But it's just Kachuk passes to Blachuk and Flachuk passes to Blachuk. And I'm there's too many Russians.
Yeah.
Maybe I won't say Russians. Maybe I'll say Slovakians. Whatever it is.
Just say foreigners.
It's too many white people. That's what I'm trying to say. So.
Too many white people not from America.
Yeah. As my name is Sasha.
Yeah.
And has no
H.
But blur that out. But yeah, so this was just really interesting to watch these games and actually have cheering for it. And I was trying to think, when's the last time I was actually this into the games? And it was the Bears Colts Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Which was 15 years ago or whatever. 07? 06?
06.
Yeah, so 20 years ago almost at this point. And I was yeah, that's why it's really hitting hard when they're down 20. And I'm come on! And Megan's what's going on down there? But,
see, that's funny you mentioned your love for the Knicks, and how I've been, I've mentioned it on here many times how much I love the White Sox. I can't remember a year I've been more checked out. Yeah. And it's just so depressing because they're playing the Cubs this weekend. I used to get so excited for those games that it's just what the hell is the point? It's training for the Cubs. They're just practicing playing.
But if the Sox were to make the playoffs, you'd be into it.
I mean, well, see, and there's also the thing though about the TV situation because they left Comcast, and it's you got to pay extra. Either you have to buy this channel or you got to go buy an antenna for your TV.
Yeah, screw that.
Yeah.
Screw all.
I
the
don't
teams
care
that do
enough.
that.
The teams are so the White Sox are so bad. The Bulls. When you make it into the playoffs with a losing record, I think that's pathetic. So that's just with hockey and basketball. Too many teams make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's true. The only argument is when one of those 8 seeds or whatever makes it far.
No, it's great that happens, but it's
Yeah.
almost like they don't deserve to be there in the first place.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
they got
true.
on a hot streak, and
Yeah. All right, well, that's all I wanted to talk about for the Knicks. I know it was too much sports or whatever. I wanted to debut a brand new segment for the show.
okay.
Don't be scared.
All right.
We're going to
No,
be all right.
I'm ready.
When me and you, before we even started this podcast, we were texting back and forth, and we would ask each other about bands and stuff like that, and we would play rank them, basically. Well, that's kind of what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
With the top 3, except that we're not really ranking. We're picking out of everybody to do a top 3. So I wanted to do a rank them, see how it goes. I'm just going to throw it out there, completely random topic.
Sure.
I'm going to give you my rankings and then see where you are. And
Okay.
then if yours is different, then we fight to the death.
All right. At least a slap battle.
This week, we're going to be ranking them Metallica members. That's right. Current 4 Metallica members, from the one you hate least to the one you hate most.
All right.
So I'll start off.
Okay.
All right, I'll give you time to think.
Okay. I already have it.
Okay, then go.
All right. So
I want you to go with the one you like most.
probably the new space guy, Robert Trujillo, I think is his name.
Out of, like, because he looks kind of nice, or you just don't know anything about him?
That's probably the main thing, and then Kirk would be next because he
Okay.
seems the most level-headed. Then James, then obviously Lars is
Okay,
the worst.
very easy. This is the worst segment of all time.
Was that yours too?
Yep, clip it.
Yeah.
Clip it. That's the whole thing. Lars, you suck. We both agree.
I was watching. I keep seeing the video, the one where Robert was like practicing, or he was, what the hell am I auditioning for the band?
Oh, okay.
And yeah, just Lars talking. He's just like, fucking shut up, dude. It's just like, well, it looks like you got that bass line real good, you know? It's just like, everyone's just like, dude, you suck at drumming. I mean, I can't say that. He's in one of the most successful bands of all time, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. It's like, when we say suck, it's just like,
Yes.
it means different than when you were younger and you said it and you probably meant it.
Yeah.
And then you're like, no one sucks at anything. Everybody's fine.
No,
It's
whenever
just
I
like-
say you suck, it just means I don't like it.
Yeah.
Or I don't care. And that's not the thing. Like, I've never been a huge Metallica fan. Like, I mean, they're definitely one of those bands when they're on, they're like, fuck yeah. But I've never owned, like, a Metallica t-shirt. I've never seen them live. I don't own any of their music. I think the
used
Black
to.
album's, like, the only one I ever had.
Okay. I used to own a bunch of their stuff. I mean, I was a big Metallica guy. I had their shirts and all that stuff. Up until a certain point. When they put Load out, it was like, no, this stinks. What do you... I mean, and that's like even past... Like, a lot of people don't even like the Black album.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm okay with the Black album. It's got
It was
some songs.
definitely, that's when they changed. I mean, like, they went from just, like, thrash metal to more, like,
I was shocked the other
hard
day.
rock almost.
I was at a red light, and the guy next to me was blasting Enter Sandman, and I was like, okay. And it's
good
not
stuff.
who you thought. It was like a Hispanic guy.
Yeah.
It was just like...
Dude,
like
Metallica's one of those bands.
I
man.
know,
mean,
but you look over, you're expecting like a guy with 7 flags on his pickup
Yeah.
truck. You're like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, here we go. But no, it was just like a little Hispanic guy who was just like rocking out. I was like, all right,
All right, now let's rank the members of Def Leppard, starting with
no deal. 1 rank per week.
All right, well, hey, so at least we agree on Metallica.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah, excellent. Which means it's time for thumbs up, thumbs down. This is when me and Goff talk about what we've been putting inside ourselves, artistic-wise, TV shows, movies, anything we feel like. I remember the early days of this podcast when you even brought up gardening tools.
Yes.
Not that you put them inside yourself.
I was
but
thinking
you were-
that,
yeah, I guess I don't know.
I was thinking of that thing this week, actually, because I did a lot of gardening, and I don't use it anymore because it like, fucking ruined my yard.
All right, so thumbs down to that thing.
Thumbs down to that guy.
All right, I'll start things off. I don't have anything truly exciting for this week, but I did watch 3 episodes of Dark Side of the Ring.
Oh.
I have like 15 of them on my DVR, so
Okay.
I'm just trying to go through. I want to know if you know any of these people. One was on Bash at the Beach 2000. That's a little bit inside wrestling. You
Okay.
don't need to
It's
worry about that one.
WCW, right?
WCW, and it's when things were going downhill.
Okay.
Doink.
Yeah.
What do you think about Doink? You like a Doink?
Doink was... He's the full-size one, right? Not because there was Dink also.
Dink was
it
the
Dink? Okay.
small one, yeah.
Doink the Clown, I mean, like, kind of a stupid gig, but kind of a good one, too. I mean, at least it, like,
Yeah.
stuck. And, I mean, he was a good wrestler, but honestly, I don't really remember much of about his gig or his gimmick or anything. I mean,
Doink
he was like a bad guy. He was a heel.
He was a clown. I think at a point he was a good guy. People like cheering for him. Even with Dink, like you can't cheer against Dink, right?
How come?
And then they feuded with Jerry Lawler and his Little People Kings.
Okay, I can't remember that. Yeah.
But early on, the guy who played Doink, he was a great wrestler, but Matt Bourne. Matt Bourne?
Okay.
I think Matt Bourne's his name. He was a wrestler. He actually wrestled on WrestleMania 1 as like himself, not in Doink, pre-Doink. He was a good wrestler in like territory wrestling and all that stuff.
Sorry, when did he debut? With that gig, at least
93.
So
94,
when was the first
95?
WrestleMania?
80.
They're on 50 right now, right? Or
40 something.
Okay. I was thinking of SNL 50.
Yeah, I think it was like 83 or something.
Okay, sorry. All right.
No. And we're not gonna go too inside wrestling anyway. But like the dark side of the thing is like this guy had drug issues and he was a little bit like almost roided up anger.
Damn.
I don't know if the roids. Yeah, I believe they mentioned severe roid use and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, well worth the watch. It was really, really good to watch. And they always have like his daughter was in it and his ex-wives and stuff like that and talking about him and the stuff. Yeah, it was very good. But then the one that was really crazy. Do you remember Ludwig Borga?
No.
He was from Helsinki, Finland. He was a jacked bad guy.
What federation?
WWF. This was around the same time Doink era.
Okay.
He actually feuded. They wanted him to feud with Lex Luger and stuff like
Okay.
that. Well, this guy had an SS tattoo on his ankle.
Ooh.
He was like a real life Nazi.
Okay.
He was
Great.
Trump before Trump.
Yeah.
Like he became a politician and just said all the like crazy stuff. And he was just like, yeah, you say crazy stuff and then you keep saying it and then people forget about the others. And like literally just like
just keep out like topping yourself.
Yeah, and just it doesn't matter what I say because like we move on.
It's not a bad idea.
And at the time, the country was going through a radical shift, and so they voted him into parliament. Like this is like after wrestling.
Wait, was this guy like United States Congress or like
no,
just...
Finland?
Oh, Finland. Okay, you said that. I'm sorry.
So, but he always wanted to be like a Hollywood actor. So he went from Finland to California. He was at Gold's Gym. He got jacked, and he was in like Hardy's commercial or whatever they were. And then he made it to WWF. And everybody on the show, Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler and all those guys, they were all just like, yeah, this guy was... we didn't do a good job in like...
vetting
this guy, yeah. And so...
we didn't do enough homework.
Just a really interesting one. I love watching these. Like, obviously I'm a wrestling fan, and this is a time when that's an era of when I really, really enjoyed wrestling. But you don't have to like wrestling to like these things. They're just like crazy stories about crazy people, and wrestling is always just like almost like a part of the thing. They're like, yeah, they were in the thing, but then he was a Nazi. It was crazy.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I watched a bunch of those, and then I also watched the 2 episodes that are out now of season 2, Conan Must Go.
Okay.
On Max or HBO Max, or I don't know what it is. They changed it again.
Yeah.
Go Max. I don't know. Whichever one it is, they put 2 of these episodes out. One for Conan went to Spain, and one he went to New Zealand. I highly recommend the New Zealand one. It was very funny. The Spain one,
What is this show? I don't.
He just travels abroad, and he's Conan with like people.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
so
very
like
good.
The Jerry Seinfeld show in the car, but it's just instead.
No, it's good.
Okay.
It's good.
Nice.
Next week we'll do our Rankum Seinfeld characters. And no ties. So. But he used to do this back when he still was on TV, where he would go to like North Korea with like a Korean guy. What's the guy? He's South Korean, I want to say, but he was in like that zombie show, Zombies.
Oh, Steven Yeun?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's Korean?
I don't want to say, but
I wanted you to say.
Sure.
I think he's Korean.
I like him.
And I think him and Conan went to like the border of North and South Korea.
Oh, God.
And they went into this room where like you have to be like not making jokes because they'll shoot you or whatever. You're not allowed to cross a certain line because they can take you and whatever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
And so it's really interesting stuff where he goes to these other countries and talks with people and eats their food and obviously does Conan like jokes or whatever. And so after his show, they did a season 1 of this where I don't remember how many places he went to, but he even went to like Armenia because his assistant Armenian, so he ended up going there.
Okay.
Maybe Italy or something like that. But they're awesome. I mean, if you like Conan, it's like the only way you can get Conan visually anymore, unless you're watching old shows. So, that's the stuff that I was ingesting this week.
Nice. Stephen Yeun is from The Walking Dead, by the way.
What did I say?
That zombie show. You did like a stick pointing gesture. I don't know. You just said zombie.
You gotta stab a zombie or something, right?
You gotta go higher though. You gotta give him in the head.
Well, it was a short one.
All right.
It was short.
It was Dink.
It was Dink
the clown.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right.
Zimby.
I got 2 quick ones. First one's music. New Kill Switch Engage. I guess it's from February, so not new, but newer. It's called This Consequence. It's good. I am more of the Howard Jones Kill Switch era. So Jesse Leach was the original singer, then Howard took over for a bit, and now Jesse's back with the band. He's been with them for quite a while. I've just never been a big fan of him as the singer. The music doesn't sound as good, I don't think. Maybe not the music, but like with his voice on it, it doesn't sound as like polished. Like I thought Howard was a much better singer and screamer, and do you know Kill Switch at all?
I know, you're looking at me like...
Well, I wasn't sure if you...
Like I used to like early on something, but I don't know like who...
Okay.
I don't know band members. I can't rank them. I cannot rank them.
They've been pretty solid, actually. Like them... the rest of the band, I think, is still the same 4 guys,
okay.
So they've... But, the new album, I mean, it's good. It's fast. I mean, like, if you like Kill Switch, you should like it. They definitely have a distinct sound. So it's one of those bands, if someone just threw it on, it's like you can tell by the music. It's like, all right, this is either Kill Switch or Slipknot, like with the crunchy guitars and everything.
Yeah.
But very talented band. Then
there's there's a festival that's going on at Ravinia in Wisconsin. Did you see this?
No, but real quick, Protest the Hero was playing in West Chicago because they're playing with Between the Buried and Me, who was playing that show last night. So they weren't like invited, I guess. So this was just like, hey, we got a night off. We'll play somewhere.
Well, maybe it's a different
show. Or
maybe
they said something about Wisconsin, though, that they were playing a festival up there.
There's a 2-day fest, and like one day Creed is the headliner, and then the next day Nickelback is the headliner.
I mean, this could definitely be what they were talking about, though.
And so there was like... like Third Eye Blind and Three Doors Down.
Oh,
and
maybe
all
not
these,
then.
Well, it's all those types of bands.
Okay.
And then I think it's Three Doors Down, the singer or someone in the band just had a very bad health diagnosis, and so they got taken off the show or whatever, or left the show. And their replacement was A Day to Remember. And I was like, how do they fit in with the rest of the show? But now hearing that makes me think that maybe Protest the Hero was.
Yeah.
Because, like, that's all, like... heavy,
well,
whatever.
I mean, did you see the Riot Fest lineup? We don't have to get into it, but I mean, you just look at that. I mean, it's like, it's so not good, but I mean, it's but just the variety. All right, so anyway, new Kill Switch, thumbs up, I'd say, generally. Okay. And then the other one, we don't have to get really into this. I watched Dodgeball this week. It's been a while.
Oh, okay.
I think my biggest takeaway is that I can't stand Vince Vaughn anymore. I just like it, and you watch that movie again. He's got so many just stupid faces that he makes that are supposed to be like he's in duress, but it's like he does, like he keeps doing it, and I don't know. I think he's the worst part about that movie, but I do think it's hilarious otherwise. And I think he's got some great lines still.
I haven't watched Dodgeball in a very long time.
Okay.
His other movies, obviously Vince Vaughn, I like him. I like earlier stuff. He's been on Curb Your Enthusiasm the past couple seasons. Like, it's over now. They don't make them anymore. But the last couple seasons he was on, and he was like almost himself, but not really himself, and a lot older.
Yeah. It's just, I got tired of like the just like quick talking slick Vince Vaughn.
I get it.
So yeah, that's if you haven't watched Dodgeball in a while, it still holds up. Obviously like ton of the great lines and everything, and so that is all I got. So I guess we should get into our top 3 for the week. We're talking about MILFs. I don't have a bottom 3 here. Do you?
I got one.
Okay.
I didn't want to do a bottom 3 because it just sounds like you're calling people ugly or something.
Exactly.
But I don't like Roseanne in any way.
Okay, that's a good one. I also have a negative, a bottom one.
Okay.
That's it.
Oh, okay. I thought you were
well
gonna
played.
add.
No,
I
I'm
thought you were
adding
gonna-
to your list.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's just I've never been a fan. I'm still not a fan.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just not my cup of tea.
That's totally fine. All right, well, I will start off then. I have a feeling we're going to have some of the same ones.
I don't think so. I
You don't
tried
think
to
so?
go willy-nilly. I
Okay.
tried to go willy-nilly. You know
you
what I'm saying?
picked all men.
Straight up men.
Men, I'd like, fight. All right. Yeah, what if I didn't know what a MILF was?
yeah.
Like, all right, so my number 3 is Peg Bundy from Married with Children.
Okay, let me do this. Let me cross her off my potent notables.
Okay.
Not in my top 3.
All right. So, kind of weird, actually, because I think even for, like, us, when that show was on,
You didn't think of her as a MILF.
no, but it was still just like, there's something hot about her.
Yeah. Now I'm like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, what that was. Also, I had this recently. I was telling Megan, Hillary Banks from Fresh Prince. Never thought she was attractive when I was younger.
Yeah.
Now I'm kind of like, all
See,
right,
that's
Hillary
fun. I
Banks.
remember asking you about her and then also Ashley, the two sisters from Fresh Prince,
Yeah,
and you were like, just
yeah.
never did it for me. And I was like,
Never
man, I was in
did.
love with both of them.
But Hillary Banks, for some reason lately, I don't know what it is.
What is she doing these days?
Oh, I have no clue. But
Oh.
I've been watching Fresh Prince, and I was
okay.
like, oh, that young girl is hot.
The Fresh Prince reboot.
I'm not Googling little boys anymore. I'm just watching
Good.
young girls
This
on
Karen
television.
Parsons. Well, she was of age when that came out, at least, so that's
And
good.
I was like 14. Wait, I didn't like her then. Hopefully she was of age.
Yeah.
She was of age in the episodes I
She's
was
probably
watching
a MILF by now.
as I turned bright red.
All right. What's your 3?
My number 3, I'm going to say this doesn't make your list.
Okay.
Mary Steenburgen.
Ooh, no.
Burgeon? Ted Danson's wife.
Yeah.
She is one of the moms in Step Brothers.
Yeah, you're
well.
right. Yep.
She's also in Curb Your Enthusiasm, which I just brought up. To me, this is the definition of a MILF.
She's in Clifford, one of my favorite comedies.
She's probably with Martin Short.
Yep.
She was in that.
She's great in it.
Yeah, she's just like, maybe she's always looked that way. I don't know. Maybe when she was young, they were like, "You look old." But
No, you're right though. Yeah, she's like a
Ted
hot,
Danson?
perennially old woman.
Ted Danson knows what he's doing. Mary Steenburgen, Whoopi Goldberg. This guy's got
This
it
guy,
all.
yeah, he's going places.
Yeah. So that's
All
my
right.
number 3.
My number 2 is Aunt Becky, Full House.
That's my number 2.
There you go. There you go.
So we've been watching Drew Carey recently.
Okay.
And she was... Okay, this show's ridiculous because every woman falls in love with Drew Carey, which is
How it
how you
goes,
do it.
yeah.
Like if you're, writing, if you're the
Yeah.
star.
Come
of
on,
this
Jim
show.
Belushi is with Courtney Thorne-Smith, and
I don't know who that is, but I get what you're
Yeah.
trying to say. And Aunt Becky was in an episode recently when we were like
as the love interest.
as the love interest,
God.
and he like wouldn't marry her, and I was like, "There's no way ever." By the way, his whole goal in season 8 is to get married because he had already purchased a wedding, like to get married.
Okay.
So season 8 is just about meeting a woman who will marry him by the date that he's already purchased the
Okay.
wedding, which is insane as it is. And then you throw in Aunt Becky's the woman, and he says no to her. Like,
Yeah.
okay, all right, Drew Carey, I got issues with the show. By the way, still a great show. But Aunt Becky was in it, and I was like, I forgot about Aunt Becky, and I'm glad I was watching the Drew Carey show because this is making my top 3 Milves list.
Milves.
Number
yeah.
2 for me and you.
Okay, yeah, she was also in one of my favorite 80s movies, Rad. Do you remember that one, the bicycle movie?
No, but
Like
I'm writing this
BMX?
down.
Good luck finding it. I mean, you might be able to find it on Amazon, but yeah, it's literally called Rad.
And
It's
she's
about
been to
BMX
prison.
bikers.
That's
She's still in prison?
maybe.
With, what's his name's wife?
I think she's out. If she's not out, what is Trump doing? You're gonna pardon all these other
Yeah.
people? You're gonna keep Aunt Becky in
I know.
prison?
And Felicity Huffman, that's her name.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. Unreal. All right, so my number 1 is Carol Foster Lambert from Step by Step.
Wow, I thought you were gonna say Carol Brady.
No.
That's where
no.
you were going.
Ooh, I added her to my notables. Suzanne Summers. She was a babe on Three's Company, and I just thought she was even more of a babe on Step by Step. Which, by the way, I mean, like, all of them, if they have children, have got to be MILFs.
Yeah, every one of them.
Al, Sam,
Dana
and
Berger.
Dana, yeah.
Yeah, the
it
little nerd kid
Oh,
with the
God,
glasses,
Mark.
Mark.
Yeah.
All of them.
No, yeah, he's
Valky
definitely a MILF.
Bartakamis, all of them.
Sasha Mitchell, cousin Cody.
Code Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's actually a podcast with Dana Berger and Al and
Al,
Al.
yeah.
And yeah, I listened to it once, and I was like, I don't really need to listen to this.
Is it a step-by-step
it
podcast?
is,
Yeah, that's whatever.
But I'm intrigued. Yeah, good call. She made my potent notable, Suzanne Summers.
Okay.
I'm
For this role?
I'm more of a fan of the Three's Company.
Okay.
Which is why I was kind of like, oh, she's not really MILF in Three's Company because she's like 20 or whatever. But yeah, no, I agree. It's a solid number one. It's just maybe my number 5.
Okay. Gotcha.
So my number one is, I did not go willy-nilly. My number one's you can pretty much guess it.
All right.
It's Sofia Vergara.
Oh, yeah.
From Modern Family.
Okay.
Come on.
The helicopter.
What? I don't have to say anything.
That's you know what? I didn't even think of her because I was mostly just going with like shows from the 80s, but yeah, absolutely, or 80s, 90s, but absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, she was also on Fallon this week, and I was just like, great, excellent. Just adds to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's nothing. People are gonna. You find me one person who's like, how did she make your list?
Yeah.
And I find you one stupid person.
Damn right. Or one blind person.
Yeah, blind.
Awesome. All right, so then for my potent notables, I got Claudia Finnerty from Grounded for Life.
Okay.
The mom in that. Megan Price, I believe, is her name.
Megan, my wife, said that she was going to be on my list. And I said, no, not on my list, but she's up there.
Yeah, not. I didn't really care for the show. I mean, I don't think it was bad, but I didn't really get into it. I think.
I liked the first couple seasons, but it got really weird.
Yeah.
And.
Yeah, so I like speaking
She's
of which,
in Rules of Engagement though, which I've pitched on this show many times. This is a solid show.
Who's she married to on that?
Putty from Seinfeld.
That's right. Okay. Patrick Warburton, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a babe. And then this one, not a mom, but definitely like a mothership role, and it's Fran Drescher from The Nanny. If
not a mom in real life.
Well, no, like I'm just going with her character on this,
okay.
So she's like the nanny. But yeah, I love her. I've always loved Fran Drescher.
See, that's one not for me.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's the voice. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't watch the show enough. I think our dear friend Swick, rest in peace, was a big Fran Drescher guy.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, that one.
I should text him on that and ask him.
So my potent notables, I have. Another person who was in Rules of Engagement, Heather Locklear.
Okay.
Who was kind of had her time, I believe.
She was in that?
She was in it at a certain point as the sister of Claudia.
Okay.
Whatever you just called her, Megan Price.
Finnerty.
Yeah, she plays her sister in a couple episodes. This was when she was dating David
Spade. Okay, I do
sure,
remember that because that was a big eye roll. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Heather Locklear, Salma Hayek.
Yeah.
Who it's like, I don't know that she's ever played a mom, and I had to Google Salma Hayek for hours.
She has in the the Step Brothers, or no, Grown Ups.
Okay, there it is.
There you go.
I spent hours Googling Salma Hayek, and then I remembered why I was Googling
what we were doing,
her. Yeah, and then she does have one child, like in real life, too. Salma Hayek, and I got nothing else to say. Here's one that, no clue. No clue if she has kids, didn't Google it.
Doesn't matter.
But
Hillary Clinton.
MILF-like tendencies. Hillary Clinton. Marissa Tomei.
Nice.
You think?
Yeah. She plays...
I mean, like, does she qualify?
She plays Aunt May in the Spider-Man movies, so she is the mother of Peter's cousins. So I don't know, maybe.
I'll say.
But yeah, no, Marissa Tomei. And like I said a couple weeks ago, I watched My Cousin Vinny. Again, if you ever come across it, you got to watch it. But
that's why I couldn't put her in the list, because she wouldn't have been in my top 3 anyway. But just like someone whose name popped up.
Okay.
2 more. Beverly D'Angelo.
Yeah.
Okay.
In her heyday.
In her heyday.
Definitely
not
now.
No.
Definitely not now.
Yeah. I mean, a little bit now. A little bit now.
No, none at all.
And then this one probably could have been number 1 on both of our lists. Harriet from Family Matters.
Oh, okay. I was for whatever reason I was thinking of Harriet from Small Wonder. So like that was the next door neighbor, the little annoying redhead girl.
Wow.
But anyway,
okay. No.
Just Mom Winslow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Grandma Winslow.
Cool. Just gilfs.
Top list.
Doing gilfs.
All right, that went.
That's it. That's our
went
MILFs.
away.
Without us, hopefully, no divorce is coming.
we had a good run.
Yeah. All right.
Here we go. This is next week's topics. If you have a topic that you want us to throw into the bucket, email us, Sasha and Goff @gmail.com. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
All right, good. What do we got here? Goff, of course, has full veto power.
All right. Well, I pulled two things out of here. They both have to do with food. I think we should do both of them, actually, because I think that these are going to be kind of easy lists for us. Top 3 fast food chains.
Okay.
And then top 3 carnival food. What do you think?
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Yeah, I'm in. Top 3 chains, not just currently open, like of all time, or...
Yeah, let's say all the time. Make it more fun.
Okay, sounds good.
All
then I say nothing. We'll see you guys next week. Go Knicks!
Later!